Hello, you beautiful babe, and thank you for tuning into your unhinged Christian bestie. My name is Tion, and I will take you on a lot of different topics around Christianity, spirituality, science, and all things Jesus. The title of this YouTube channel didn't just come out of nowhere. It was clearly thought through, only because as a Christian and a God-fearing woman, I refuse to be put in a box, and different personalities and unapologetically being transparent should be normalized in the community. So that's what we're here to do. But I'm also here to tell you exactly how I manifested my Tesla with God. So buckle up and let's get into it. The old car I was driving was a 2016 Hyundai Elantra. Even though I loved her name was Jasmine, she was breaking down on me. She was getting kind of old. I had replaced the catalytic converter, I had replaced the clutch, I had replaced almost the motor until I realized I need to get rid of this car. Then she started to consume oil, and that was just my breaking point. When I knew that she was about to poop out on me, I started thinking, what car do I want next? And that is when I decided on the Tesla Model Y. One, because it's an electric vehicle, and after thousands and thousands of dollars I put in an already paid off car, I just wanted an electric vehicle. Didn't have to worry about the oil, didn't have to worry about the gas, didn't have to worry about none of it. It was taken care of. And not gonna lie, they're beautiful cars. So what I started doing was actually scripting and writing down that I wanted a fully functioning Tesla Model Y. And I kept writing it down for months. And then I realized, you know what? If this is a desire of my heart, if this is a dream of mine, let me take my black booty to Tesla and test drive this car. And that's exactly what I did. And to make it more real, I made a video about it just for myself to see, not knowing that at some point I'd be putting it on YouTube. And I didn't know until after I got the car that I put a timeline in my video of when I was going to get this car. This is my car. It's my new Tesla. It's January 14th, and I will have a Tesla by August 30th. So after test driving this car, it was a no-brainer. Like, that was going to be the next car that I were to get. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm gonna get that car. So after a couple months, I kept on writing in my journal, I have a fully functioning Tesla Model Y. I kept diligently praying and diligently writing and also asking the Lord, make a way, because my car was at its wit's end. That's when it had started crashing down and stopping on the highway. A couple months later, when it got to that point, I took my booty back to Tesla and test drove it one more time just to make sure that was the exact car that I wanted, and it was. But it's wild because when I was scripting it, when I was writing this down, when I was writing the desire of my heart down, making it plain, just like Habakkuk 2:2 says. Now, in this video, when did I say I was going to get this Tesla? It's January 14th, and I will have a Tesla by August 30th. In July is when my car started breaking down. It was done, it was at the end, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sell this car, and I'm gonna start putting things in motion to see if I can actually get my Model Y. At this time, I was not in a financial spot to where I'd be like, I could just buy a Tesla right now, because I was waiting for my business to boom. I was waiting on things to be more financially stable, but in some way, God made a way. I went to go sell my car, and I found out that she had severe hail damage. So the most I was going to be able to get for her was like $800, even though that car was worth $600. The car was completely paid off too, so I was pretty bummed. Regardless, I put it in God's hand, and I knew that I was still eligible to trade it in with Tesla. So I ran the numbers, I put my information in. Tesla actually gave me a trade-in for $7,000. For my hunky-dunky beat-up car, $7,000. And that's not including the tax credit, and that's not including the down payment that I was able to put on the car. It was literally God that made this happen, and the fact that I kept on speaking it into existence, writing it into existence, believing that God could do that for me. Second to last week of July, I ordered my Model Y, and not even 2 weeks later was it ready for me. Almost at the exact time I had spoken into existence when I first test drove the car. Literally, look at God. One thing I forgot to tell you is whenever I would see a white Tesla, I would imagine me driving it. I would imagine myself just going to test drive it again. I would see it outside my apartment. I would just be like, that's mine. I can have that. That Tesla is definitely mine. At some point, I will be driving this around my neighborhood too. And when I test drove it, I drove it to my apartment and drove it around my neighborhood like it was already mine. I kept on visualizing this reality in my life because I knew at some point that I would have it. And that's exactly what God did. It's crazy how believers like to demonize manifestation, but it is so biblically sound that you can't help but start implementing these processes because God literally gives us these directions in scripture. As an unhinged Christian, I want to go against the grain and do things that normal Christians don't want to do because religion tells them not to, or because we just haven't normalized it as believers. But let me tell you, I am not a religious gal. I'm a Jesus gal. So whatever that scripture and whatever that word says is what I stand by. Not the religion that identifies with a book that sometimes doesn't really align. So this is my tall tale sign that 1, manifestation works. 2, manifestation is biblical. And 3, there is an overlap with science, spirituality, and faith that we all need to be tapping into. And I cannot wait to bring you more content that explains everything. Because if I did not adopt these principles and adopt the fact that manifestation is for us too, I would not be sitting in my 2024 Tesla Model Y. So like and subscribe if you want me to put you on to all the things your church won't put you on to. Empower other God-fearing women to be unapologetic at the same time. Because I am called to be a God-fearing woman and still be unapologetic with my unhinged personality. I want to empower other God-fearing women that you have been called to live a life unhinged. Yes, we do need to be living righteously, but God didn't create us to be robots. Okay? Stay blessed, stay grateful, and do not forget, do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Recording my first YouTube video ever. I don't know what I'm doing. But you know what? God's going to work through me. God's going to talk through me. And it's going to be good. It's going to be real good. It's going to be good. I don't know what I'm saying. You know, God's got me. God's got me. God's got me. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. You ready?